The reason we see ourselves more or less than others is usually rooted in our childhood, in our social status, in our previous experiences in life. We are taught to see ourselves as high or low, but not ourselves as equals. And this comes from childhood, it comes from social status, from different things and experiences that happened in our lives. But the truth is, it doesn't come from comparison. It comes only from the fact that we are being human. Great leaders don't lead with authority, they lead with wisdom, compassion, and love. I know love can be maybe an appropriate word for leadership, but there are many leaders with heart these days, and there are many excellent women and men which lead by example, just how to be the heart leader or the leader of people. You all know the story of Mohandas Gandhi or Mahatma Gandhi. He was a great leader of India in 20th century, and his first thing was that he didn't ever use force or authority to lead his people. It was just about what I can do for the country, what I can do for the people. And he was this person who, when his people did wrong or were violent, he just fasted himself, and he was starving himself for maybe a week or so, even 2-3 weeks, and he was doing penance for his own country. And that's, of course, from our perspective, it can be a little too much, but it's a great example on what we can do and how to lead. Authority leaders, which are many in the world, beginning with Trump, and he's not the only one. Those leaders lead with feeling superior to other people, feeling that they are more, that they deserve to be more, which is so wrong for them and of course for the people they are guiding. Behind authority of every person is fear of control, of losing control, of being seen as they are, and that's often the problem. And authority leading is short-term leading, because it cannot never provide good results in the long run. Of course, in the shorter term, they can have probably even good results, great results. But in the long run, I've seen organizations losing their people. And if you have an organization when they have a lot of fluctuating people and labor, that's the first sign that something is wrong and that things are not as they should be. So the second one is more like wisdom or heart-like compassion leading, where you're listening to people that work for you or for the organization. And these leaders are definitely leaders for the long run. I have made such a difference in my office. I have a law office where we were some from 6 to 10 people at some times, and I was raised by, authority leadership. I came from police or military background when the hierarchy was really tough, and whenever I had a problem, I just used those hierarchy and I'm the boss and you'll do like I said. And more often than not, people were afraid of me. Even my friends, now when I'm thinking back, there were many times then I saw fear in their eyes on what I'm gonna say, or maybe more like, how am I going to react? So my reaction feared people. They weren't like fear, they didn't have a fear for me that I will hurt them or do anything else. But my reaction usually was the thing that they were avoiding in some way. And that really was a problem which I wasn't aware for many years. And I believe there are many people which or who lead with such an example, and they're probably not even aware of it, or they're aware but they think it's good leadership, but it's not. And if you are such a person, I urge you, you change. If you work for such a person, or you get leadership from such a person, then definitely you have to protect yourself. So what can you do when such a person is your boss, sometimes even your parents or, friends? So what can we do about it? We definitely can do a lot. And the first thing that would be really beneficial would be just to set some boundaries. Of course, you are risking the relationship, but more often than not, they will change. Because when you set a boundary and you say, if you do this, I will leave the room. If you lose your temper, I will go there and do that. So if you just make it about me, it's like, I won't allow it. If you do this, I will do that. And you should probably put yourself out of the room or, out of the conversation. At least you can just shut up and know that to other person that you've stopped talking because they're like abusing you or just being critical or superior to you. And they will probably have to do one of the two things. They will either end your relationship because they won't be able to handle it, which from my perspective is an okay treat for you, or they will change. So that's two options. Either way, you will find a way to defend yourself, which is a basic thing from people who are using their authority, their superiority towards other people. And the people who are in superiority league and you're being aware of this is the first step, just to see if you're doing this to some people. I will be honest with you, when I was aware of this, I just told people and asked them, are you afraid of me? Or is this uncomfortable for you? And many times they were like, no, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And they didn't even see in themselves that they have a problem with my reaction and everything. So it's big process for the both parties involved if you want to change. But I definitely would recommend it. I hope you'll enjoy the video. I hope you can subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.